This is the new American media.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody, welcome to Agree to Disagree here on the TNAM Radio Network at the New American Media. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. Special thanks to NBA scout Zach Barris, who just informed us that he has insider information that LeBron James is most likely returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Interesting story. Check out that show that will be archived on thenewamericanmedia.com, and you can also find it when we post the segment a little bit later. Go on Facebook and search The New American Media with spaces and like our page. Follow us on Twitter at American_media_, and also go on youtube.com/The New American Media and subscribe to our channel. I want to get into this story. I'll give a special thanks to Blake the Eccentric Wally for pointing this out. I was listening to his Eccentric Perspective program. You can hear that every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from noon to 1:30 p.m. Pacific on freedomizerradio.com, or you can get the podcast by searching Eccentric Perspective, signing up for the podcast on iTunes. But I was listening to Blake's program, and I've been on his show for, maybe 2 years now, as a special guest and co-host from time to time, as he's also been here on Agree to Disagree. If you're a regular listener, you would know that. But he found this story yesterday, and I want to share it with you. It's pretty interesting, as it sums up some of my main concerns about Obamacare. I've been concerned for a lot of different reasons, and this article really put a lot of them together in one place, so I want to share it with you. This one is off of naturalnews.com. Article is by Mike Adams from yesterday, Thursday, October 10th. Warning: enrolling in Obamacare allows government to link your IP address with your name, social security number, bank accounts, and web surfing habits. Natural News: we have already established that healthcare.gov is not a functioning database application, and you guys all know that it's not. It's not a functioning database application that allows people to shop for competing health plans. It's actually a government-run Trojan horse that suckers people into creating accounts where they hand over your name and address, email address, and password. I'm still trying to understand what that means right there, the password part. How? And this is the website that doesn't allow anybody to... I haven't seen one positive report on the Obamacare website. And let's just face it, step number one, this is me speaking now, step number one, if you can't run a website, I don't want you running my health care. Period. You had how much money? Unlimited. And you had how much time? Years. And it's a disaster. No, I'm not interested in trading my healthcare for that. Thank you very much. Back to the article. During the enrollment process, your computer also hands over your IP address, which is then tied to your social security number. The IP address is then handed over to the NSA thanks to its new mega black hole data center in Utah, where your IP is cross-referenced with all website visits. All website visits, including anti-government websites, porn sites, gambling sites, file sharing sites, terrorism support sites, encryption service sites like Hushmail, chat rooms, message boards, and more. Armed with this information, the NSA can then link your seemingly anonymous online chats, comments, and posts with your social security number. Linguistic algorithms can score your online posts to create red flags that call for additional investigations of anyone using words like liberty or patriot. This information can then be turned over to law enforcement, as is found in the fine print of the Maryland Obamacare Exchange, which states, quote, we may share information provided on your application with the appropriate authorities for law enforcement and audit activities. Well, isn't that special? I'm here for healthcare, but I just want to sign over my info to you. I want to flag myself for incrimination, harassment, as we've seen at the IRS. Anyway, back to the article. This is kind of hard because I'm getting all these ideas I want to talk about, and I don't want to blend my words with this article. But yeah, let me just tear through this article. Thus, by enrolling in Obamacare, you are voluntarily surveilling yourself and handing over the data to the government while also agreeing to terms of self-incrimination. Ponder the implications of this for a moment. Obamacare is actually a self-incrimination surveillance program designed to ensnare the American people in a devil's contract. Obamacare is the meta-level con of tricking Americans into thinking they're signing up for free health insurance, when in reality, the website primarily exists to scrape personal financial details, passwords, emails, and social security numbers from Americans who will later be targeted by the government itself. Oh, Brian, that would never happen. It's not like the government turns on its own citizens. Nah, I don't mean turns on like Anthony Weiner trying to turn on his constituents. Seriously, what an unfortunate last name to be caught in that sort of scandal. I mean, come on. Who? What kind of cartoon is this where the guy's name is Wiener and he's... Okay, sorry, I digress. But Brian, it's not like our government is actually going to... I need a new phrase from Turn On. To target citizens. That's not going to happen. I point you to the IRS, dear listener. IRS, remember how they targeted Tea Party groups and Republicans and conservatives and those that did not support the president's agenda? And isn't it cool that they're building a dossier of every American based on their Facebook posts and the things that they tweet and the content of their emails and the websites they visit to make a educated guess, a guesstimate, if you will, on whether this person would be pro whatever political party's in office, or con at whatever particular party's in office. Wouldn't that be great? Except they'd never do that, except the IRS did do that, and the IRS is the enforcement arm of Obamacare. I would have disliked Romneycare, okay? So this isn't about our president, it's about this lousy policy that it sure seems like was going to get implemented post-2008 either way, huh? Since the two selected official candidates, Republican or Democrat, like there's only two types of people in this country. Like we only have two choices in political parties. Unless they're two puppets from the same puppet master putting on a show, controlled by the same mind. Either way, they win. I digress. Let's get back to the article. All the emails registered with healthcare.gov, for example, will likely be used by the Obama administration to spam people with political propaganda or contrived terror alerts that use fear to concentrate more power in the hands of the government. All the financial data will be turned over to the IRS for criminal investigations of Americans who are suspected of underreporting their incomes or supporting patriot groups with financial donations. Wow. All the passwords used on healthcare.gov will be turned over to the NSA and matched up with individual IP addresses so that NSA operatives can hack into private bank accounts, encrypted email accounts, and other private data, based on the assumption that most users use identical passwords across all of the websites they commonly access. A person's password under Obamacare probably has a 50% chance of also working for their online banking. And since the NSA has your social security number, it's a no-brainer to match up your online surfing habits with your phone number, home address, investment holdings, tax returns, international travel history, and so on. Now let me break in here. In a way, there's some speculation to say probably a 50% chance of also working for their online banking. That's a speculation. Fair enough. But think for a second. Think. How many email accounts do you have? Do you use the same password? What about all the things you have to log into? Whether it's a Groupon, whether it's a banking website, Amazon.com, eBay, Yahoo, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter. Just go on and on down the line of things that you have to log into. Okay. I mean, what if any of those passwords are compromised? Then all of the sites that have been compromised are linked up. That's not good. Back to the article. In essence, Obamacare allows the government to gather a gold mine of private data that can be exploited to target, punish, incriminate, blackmail, or steal from any desired target. I love the blackmail part. If you recall, a lot of people were pondering, pontificating, purporting, projecting theories that Chief Justice John Roberts, who changed his opinion on Obamacare, might have been ensnared by the same government pushing for Obamacare through some sort of blackmail discovered by the NSA. I don't know. I can't confirm that. I can't make the accusation that that's what happened. I'm saying that some people have said it. Some people have wondered out loud, is it possible? Is it possible that even the Supreme Court justices could be blackmailed into changing their opinions? I would say damn near anything's possible in 2013. Call me crazy, and some of y'all do. But the show's called Agree to Disagree. Let's just have the conversation. Moving on back to the article. All this is a federal government that believes it now has total power to do anything it wants without limit. There are no boundaries of what it might do with this data. Remember, Obama is the president who literally maintains kill lists of Americans to have terminated. This is openly admitted and confirmed. The Obama administration also believes it can bypass Congress and simply create new law by executive order, concentrating all power into its own hands with no regard for the separation of power upon which this nation was founded. As is common with tyrants, the Obama administration truly believes the people have no right to privacy, no right to due process, no right to representation in government, and no right to determine your own engagement in commerce. This is why Obama is playing such hardball to shove Obamacare down everybody's throats. The government desperately needs to gather all this surveillance data so that it can leverage it to blackmail members of the U.S. Supreme Court, the Senate, the House, and even federal judges. Blackmail is essential to maintaining power in a corrupt society, and healthcare.gov is the portal for scraping passwords, IP addresses, and even financial details from anyone gullible enough to actually hand this over to the government, i.e. Democrats. Kind of funny. As far as I'm concerned, continues the article by Mike Adams on naturalnews.com, as far as I'm concerned, the IRS can fine me all they want. I'm never voluntarily enrolling in Obamacare, even if you put a gun to my head like Obama is doing to the entire nation right now with this insane contrived government shutdown that treats our own veterans like dirt. All dignity is now gone from the Obama administration. Zero credibility remains. The government has all but openly declared war on the people and is actively using tricks like healthcare.gov to coerce people into incriminating themselves. The Obama administration is out of control and a grave danger to society. It must be lawfully stopped from damaging America any further. Now is the time to seriously discuss impeachment, not just of the president, but of every U.S. senator and House member who voted for this unconstitutional Trojan horse healthcare system that's destroying America's economy and wasting an unprecedented amount of time, money, and effort. End Obamacare now and restore dignity and justice to America. Well, some of the articles here, some of the comments. This is different from any other website. How? NSA already has this and far more. Protect your IP. Use Tor. Encrypt everything. Tor. An onion router network. Someone else says, Tor was developed by the NRL and DARPA. It has a back door they can access. Oh, okay, cool. It's like everything you try to do, there's something else just creeping around, acting creepy. Where's my thesaurus? Can I get a synonym? Can I get some? It's breakfast. Can I get some synonyms? I can't even say it. Synonym toast crunch. Synonym toast crunch. Cinnamon toast. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. I'm looking at the rest of some of these articles here. Anyway, or there's some of the rest of the comments here. It's really interesting I don't trust this government. I didn't trust the last one, and I don't trust the next one. We shouldn't trust government. That's not the point. The point is supposed to have a very limited government with a strict set of things that they cannot do to you. Okay? That's what government is supposed to be. Instead, now, let me move away from this for just a second. Trying to shut down the oceans. Shutting down national parks. Blockading access to war monuments. What is it, the Vietnam War Memorial, the World War II Memorial? Blocking access to the Lincoln Memorial? Oh, because of a shutdown? Really, Mr. President? And the buck stops with you. You can't blame Republicans. Stop it. You're the top of this little pyramid, pal. And you're the one doing this because you want to get your way so damn bad. You want to inflict as much pain possible on the American people. So you're going to shut down the monuments to the war veterans that fought and gave their lives to protect this place? That is a punk move, pal. That is a punk move. Well, you see, it's the Republicans and won't negotiate. So we're going to have to cut programs. You are. You're going to tell our World War II heroes that they can't go see their monument? Screw you. Seriously, pal. This has had me so riled up all week, I can't even put it into words. You get rid of the waste, you get rid of the pork, you get rid of the ridiculous spending, and you make do. No, you don't do that. You want to take water fountain handles off of water fountains at public parks. You want to actually stop sending out death benefit payments to current servicemen and women who have died. Are you freaking kidding me? That's your answer? That's your grown-up way to governance? I mean, I just have to say, you know, right at the end of that article, when Mike Adams starts talking about impeachment, absolutely, this is disgusting to me, what this president is doing. To play games and not send the death benefits to service members, to close down the Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial. Are you kidding me? That belongs to us. It doesn't belong to you. So I find it shocking that an NBC Wall Street Journal poll says that 60% of Americans say that we should fire every member of Congress. Let me read you this one by Domenico Montanaro, Deputy Political Editor, NBC News. Throw the bums out. That's the message 60% of Americans are sending to Washington in a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll saying that if they had the chance to vote and defeat and replace every single member of Congress, including their own representative, they would. Just 35% of people say they would not. The 60% figure is the highest ever in that question recorded in the poll, registered in the wake of the government shutdown and the threat of the U.S. defaulting on its debt for the first time in history. If the nation's debt limit is not increased 1 week from now, Treasury Secretary Jack Lew warns that the entire global community could be in peril. I'm sorry, the entire global economy could be in peril. Am I the only one saying then bring it down? This entire global economy. What, the one that has $90 trillion in unfunded liabilities that we've promised out to people, and not me, not you, the listener. Corrupt clowns have promised other people, probably good people, $90 trillion in things that they don't have. So when they collect their pensions, their health care benefits, their kickbacks, they go get airport terminals named after them, then they go back into the private sector after 6 decades or so. Just in time to see Junior come up and take the place. in the fantastic oligarchy of democracy that we have devolved into in 2013 America. Beautiful. $90 trillion in unfunded liabilities. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, this, that, and the other. All these things that we've promised. We don't have it. We don't have it. So then we make sure that we print more money so we have more money. Except that devalues the money. So it defeats the purpose because now a car that used to cost $10,000 now costs $17,000. So you need more of those dollars to buy the same thing that used to only cost you $10 before. Huh. So who's winning? I don't know. Maybe the Xerox machine called the Federal Reserve, the private banking companies that charge our own citizens through the government interest for creating our own currency, despite the fact that the Constitution doesn't call for that? You know, we're headed up on a 50-year anniversary of the murder of JFK. You know, and there are stories about John F. Kennedy issuing the silverbacks, backed in silver, issuing currency without going through the Federal Reserve. In fact, let me pull that up. So I want to get an article here that's going to make a little bit of sense. Man, I got a lot of these. A lot of hits on this. I'm trying to give you a source that I can recognize about this. The truth about the JFK assassination. Debunking Federal Reserve conspiracy theories. Okay. Man, there's a lot of articles here. So, you know what? Do your own research. Look into that. The point is that we're in an unsustainable death spiral corkscrew. And the deeper we go, the tougher it is to get back out. And the more disgusting it gets when you get down there. And I swear, I'm seeing more articles and more pictures and more stories of more local police forces getting MRAPs, these huge military vehicles, through Homeland Security grants. A lot of them are coming over from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. They're being painted police black. Why? Why are they doing that? Why are they arming up with 2 billion extra rounds of ammunition, 40 caliber hollow point? Why are they doing that? Why are they getting all the M16 ammo? Why? Why would they be doing that unless they're planning on intentionally pissing the people off to the point where it sparks a pseudo-revolution so that martial law can be enacted? And at that point, wouldn't it be great if there was a national database, either through the NSA or Obamacare, where they would know who the bad guys are? Because let me tell you, if I were a bad guy, and I wanted to implode the economy, and I wanted people to get riled up, and I wanted to pick off the dissenters, grab them, detain them unlawfully through the National Defense Authorization Act under the guise of, it's an emergency, under the guise of, well, it's martial law, under the guise of, are you threatening me? Are you challenging my authority? Not you question my authority, said Cartman on South Park. If I were a bad guy and I wanted to do that, I would crash the economy, I would default on my debts, I would rack up huge credit card bills that we could never pay back, piss off China, piss off Russia, piss off Japan, go down the list. Make sure that for the past decade or two, we haven't been paying attention to our borders, but we're putting spy cameras on every street corner. So we can monitor our own citizens and let a whole bunch of question marks flood through the southern border and the northern border. Who knows, by boat on the east and west as well. I don't know, maybe you could catapult people over, drop them in on a parachute, maybe they could dig tunnels and come in. Doesn't matter. Because it sure seems like since 2001, when the World Trade Towers collapsed, they've been looking at the people. Janet Napolitano, Eric Holder, Barack Obama. George Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney. I mean, this isn't Republican-Democrat. This is garbage versus liberty. Sure seems like they've been pointing the cameras at you. It sure seems like it. And so if I were a bad guy, and if I wanted to install some sort of one world government or one world currency, if I wanted more power and control to make sure that, you know, the oligarchs get to stay in power, let me give you the... I can't give you anything precise enough off the top of my head, so I want to read you the definition of oligarch. Let's check Wiktionary for that. There you go. A member of an oligarchy. Someone who is part of a small group that runs a country. In Russia, especially a rich person, or a very rich person. Oligarch. You know, Bush Sr., Bush Jr., maybe we could get another Bush and another Clinton running 2016. Wouldn't that be special? Get a Jeb Bush and a Hillary Clinton, make sure those oligarchical families continue to maintain their grip of control and power. Who knows, maybe because they've been blackmailed and bought and sold a long time ago. Maybe they're the puppet masters themselves. Maybe we could get some more Clinton Bush in the office. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? But that's what we have here. If I were one of these rich oligarchs, if I were one of these immensely powerful people pulling the strings, I would want to control the internet. I would like to gather every piece of information. I'd like to find people like me, people like you, people that are speaking out while we still can. And you know what? I would use GPS coordinates. And I say this because, you know, say when you get a knock on the door and it's the Census Bureau, and they get your name and they put a little GPS tag at your front door. They can pinpoint you within 0.03 of a mile. Spy cameras on the streets. All your emails being sifted through and all your phone conversations being recorded in massive spy database centers. All your text messages, the pictures you send privately to people that you are having conversations with, all the things you post on Facebook, the retweets. I don't know, do you lean left? Do you lean right? Do you care? I don't know, do you talk about the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, the Fourth? Go down the line, they're all important. Because you know, if I wanted to take over a country, dare I say the world, I would want to find the people like me. The people like me that talk about this stuff. Because there are rules that are being broken on a daily basis. Well, come on, Brian, if this stuff was really happening, it would be on the news. Really? Really? You mean that place where almost all of the major networks and radio stations are controlled by the same couple of oligarchs in media? The media oligarchs? Mediagarchs? Yeah, that's a stupid comment. Mediagarch? That's a horrible word. Fake word. Seriously, don't you think the same people that could have bought off all the media companies to make sure that their puppets are putting the stories out that make themselves look good? Why do I have to go to The Guardian out of the UK? Why do I have to go to Russia Today to find out some of the real horrible stories to get the Edward Snowden information? Why? Why do I have to do that? Maybe because the news we're getting in the dinosaur media isn't really news. Maybe it's just propaganda. So if I were a bad guy, I would want to link all that. And who knows? Have you studied Agenda 21? Yeah, I've been doing a little looking into Agenda 21. Faux show. It's a non-binding, voluntarily implemented action plan of the United Nations with regard to sustainable development. The 21 refers to the 21st century. Let me scroll down here. Opposition. During the last decade, this is on Wikipedia, just as a quick reference. During the last decade, opposition to Agenda 21 has increased within the United States at the local, state, and federal levels. In January 2011, Commissioner Richard Rothschild of Carroll County, Maryland, became the first elected official in the United States to successfully remove a U.S. jurisdiction from the ICLEI in Agenda 21. The RNC, Republican National Committee, has adopted a resolution opposing Agenda 21, and the Republican Party platform say that we strongly reject the UN Agenda 21. as being erosive of American sovereignty. Several state and local governments have considered or passed motions and legislation opposing Agenda 21. Activists, some of whom have been associated with the Tea Party movement, by the New York Times and Huffington Post, have said that Agenda 21 is a conspiracy by the United Nations to deprive individuals of property rights. It's a complex issue. I just dig into Agenda 21, look around. But with all this smart building, you have all this infrastructure. You have light rail lines. Say, for example, in Los Angeles, where new infrastructure is built that can take you to downtown, it can take you to the beach. Who knows, maybe where there would be ships waiting to take people away, the dissenters, once the economy crashed and people would be rioting in the streets and turning on their neighbors because they don't have enough food and water and supplies and cash in hand, if there's a bank holiday, if the internet goes down, if there's a massive attack on the grid, if there's a massive cyber attack where China gets upset that we're devaluing our currency and just goes in, digitizes, monetizes, turns bank accounts with money in them into zero, then all these people don't have money, then they're in the streets, then they're rioting, then the military police are called in, then it's martial law, then the National Defense Authorization Act that says you can be detained, you can be kidnapped, detained indefinitely without charge and without trial. Heard of that one? That's something Obama signed into office. What was it, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, 2 years ago? Yeah, check out pandaunite.org. P-A-N-D-A. People Against NDAA. Pandaunite.org. Dan Johnson over there, fighting the NDAA. Just got a big win. Where was that? Syracuse? Where was that? Over in New York, I want to say. Sorry, Dan. Dan's supposed to be a guest. We just keep missing each other. But yeah, and then there would be an excuse to grab those people that you've already pre-identified as, oh, I don't know, Second Amendment supporters that might actually put up a challenge, that might actually defend their freedoms and their rights, their liberty from tyranny. And then maybe you're shuttled off to some FEMA camp, maybe. Nice little place. Because I'm telling you, if I were a bad guy, that's what I would do. That is what I would do. And I would build massive spy centers so that dossiers could be created on every single person on the globe. Especially those in the United States that could, fight back. Maybe it's why this Obama administration has through Janet Napolitano in the Department of Homeland Security and Eric Holder in the Justice Department, they've repeatedly issued memos talking about how dangerous Tea Party members are. Those who talk about the Constitution. People who wear Ron Paul bumper stickers or T-shirts. Returning servicemen and women. You mean the trained ones that are actually going to fight back? If any of that crap is tried by a bad guy? See, if I were a bad guy, that's what I'd be doing. So, when I think about it, I oppose Obamacare. Not because the name Obama's in it. Brian Obama's name isn't in it. It's the Affordable Care Act, the ACA. So, it's Obamacare. Yeah, well, that just means you're a Republican. Nope. I gave up on that a while ago. I refer to myself as a recovering Republican. Recovering. I have a lot of strongly held beliefs that are conservative fiscally. I'm socially libertarian. And I'm pro-capitalist, not crony capitalist or fascist. That's it. Well, that's not Republican. I know that's not Republican. Well, it's not Democrat. Nope, it ain't Democrat either. Guarantee you that. If I don't know what I am, that's one thing, but I know what I'm not. I'm not a Democrat. A recovering Republican. But if I were a bad guy, that's how I'd be doing this. I would pre-identify all the people that would give me a challenge. I got to remember off the top of my head which one of those the radicals from the 60s that wanted to. I mean, it's basically under the Cloward and Piven strategy that says you want to implode the country economically, and then you can install your, communism, socialism, Marxism, etc. But you got to get so many people dependent on the system, so that when the system crashes, you got your allies, because you're going to defend that. And you want to flood it. How many people are on food stamps right now? Is this really an economic recovery that's going on? Do you feel that? How many people are being pushed from full-time to part-time right now? A lot, a lot, a lot. So, we have a conundrum here, don't we, folks? I mean, do we just go along with this stuff? What is it, the new iPhones? You have to give them your fingerprint? Wow. You know, that's a little personal. That's a little personal. You know, and I think it's insane. I don't care if it's a private company. I don't care what sort of agreement you have in the fine print of your company's mission statement, but you don't have the right to dig into my emails. You don't have the... Oh, Brian, they're just getting the metadata. They're just getting the number you called and the number it was calling from and the time of day and the duration of the call and where the cell phone tower pinged back that your GPS location was. They're not monitoring the contents of your call. It's metadata. Give me a break. You have got to be kidding me. We put people on the moon and you're just collecting metadata. Come on. Sell it to someone else. I ain't buying it. Not a chance. Edward Snowden should be nominated for a Peace Prize. Because thank God. Yes, and I do believe in a God. Am I exactly certain how to define it? Nah. When I was a younger man, I knew everything. I'm getting dumber and dumber by the day the more that I learn. Because I don't have all the answers and I ain't selling you anything. Hey, speaking of which, check out disteldesign.com, D-I-S-T-E-L design.com, because they built our website and they do graphic design and t-shirts, print media, business cards, logos, all that stuff. Disteldesign.com, that's D-I-S-T-E-L design.com. I will try to sell you that, because they're good friends of the New American Media. They're good friends of me personally, Ted Distel. He built my website. thenewamericanmedia.com. Check it out. But I'm not selling you on religion and spirituality. But what I'm saying is, thank God that Edward Snowden exposed what's really happening here. Because I recognize that our country is in peril. I recognize that our country is teetering on the brink of a very dangerous moment in time. Do I fear it? Nah. Fear no man. Put your faith where it belongs. Sorry, atheists. The theory that nothing created everything, you gotta do better than that. Even the ancient alien theories, it's like, man, I get it. I get it. We can do DNA replication stuff. All right, I get that. Who knows? Maybe we were created by the Anunnaki, as they say in ancient Mesopotamian scrolls and tablets, as purported by Zechariah Sitchin and Eric von Daniken and so forth. And maybe we are just a worker-slave species put here to mine for gold. And instead of actually holding onto the gold itself, now it's just Federal Reserve notes. It's just pieces of paper that we trade in. And all the gold is actually being sucked up. But that would mean that we are a slave species on a prison planet. Maybe that the oligarchs are really the slave masters and we're just the bad guys. You shouldn't rock the boat. You shouldn't rock the boat. It's okay being a slave as long as... face it, this is a pretty cool way to be a slave. If you have a vehicle and you can drive places, you can have barbecues and watch football, you can procreate and hook up and go party. You can go through the forest, you can go camping, you can go to live concerts, you have instant access through, there are digital tracking devices that record all of your patterns, habits, routines, and all of your contact information, personal messages, personal phone calls, and photos that you send back and forth. But it's cool to be linked up with everybody else on the planet. That's neat. We have refrigeration, air conditioning when it's hot, heating when it's cold. I will say that if we are indeed just a slave species created in a DNA laboratory, some call it the Garden of Eden, some call it, just some genetic experiment. That's why there is no missing link between Lucy and man, because it was a quick genetic modification of what already happened to be here, Cro-Magnon man and, early man, early ape. maybe we are just a slave species. Maybe that's all it's supposed to be. So don't rock the boat. Just keep clocking in, going to work, barely getting by. It's getting harder and harder and harder each and every year, said Bradley Noel of Sublime. Maybe. Maybe we are just slaves. Are you okay with that? I mean, does it have to stay that way if it's the case? And I don't know that it is. I'm just putting it out there. Are you cool with that? You know, the people that founded this country in the late 1700s, I mean, they were coming from the Dark Ages. You know, you had kings, you had queens, you had religious institutions, all about power and control, manipulation, taxation. The Lord giveth, the government taketh away. However you want to phrase it. In a time when you couldn't discuss complicated, complex, or controversial issues, those thoughts were very dangerous to a good man and a good woman. Very dangerous. So these people went underground. Not that they literally dug holes and interned themselves like like True Blood or something on HBO. But, I mean, they had private meetings. And they had to keep these conversations quiet. There's a reason the Fourth Amendment against unreasonable search and seizure exists. It's because when people have that much information on you, they can turn and use it against you. They can manipulate it, they can twist it, and they can use it as a weapon against you. That's why you don't want, you know, that's why you can't just be stopped by a cop and just be shaken down, why they can't dig into all your belongings without a warrant. Well, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. That's not the point. It's not the point. The point is you don't want this information in a bad guy's hands. Because trust me, I think about what it would be like to be a bad guy. I'll tell you what, I live in Hollywood. From the office, I live in Los Angeles, but from the office window here at the New American Media, you can see the Hollywood sign. So I'm storytelling here a little bit. And I ponder what it would be like to be a bad guy. And if I wanted to take this country down and tear it completely down and rebuild it in my image of whatever I wanted to do to maintain power and control over the masses, step one is that Fourth Amendment. Gather all your data. Then the chilling effect that happens, people start censoring what they feel like they're allowed to say. It's like 1984. That's why at the New American Media we have a 1984 watch. By the way, connect with us. Send us a direct message somehow, either on Facebook or Twitter or through the website on the Contact Us page. If you want to participate, we're looking to add some staff members here at the New American Media. It's been a labor of love for 2.5 years, but it's really time to grow this. We've taken a few steps forward and a lot of stalls and stagnations. That's all right. That's how it rolls. But I mean, if you can, since I can see the Hollywood sign from the office window, and if I just write a script, and if I were the bad guy, what would I do? I would start with gathering all the data. That's exactly what's happening, guys. I wanted to share that Mike Adams article with you from naturalnews.com. Because really, you don't want a dossier being built on you. Because what if the next person is the bad guy, even if this one isn't? Did you think Bush was great? If you support the president, did you think the last guy was awesome? What about the next person? Guy or girl? Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party, doesn't matter. What about them? Could they be the bad guy? We just got to protect ourselves. The information, all this technology is fantastic, but where's the privacy? I demand privacy under the Fourth Amendment. Oh, you must be up to something. Screw you. I don't have to answer myself to anyone. And shame on you for purporting that I need to. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Leave me be. Seriously, leave me be. This is really out of control. And it's a dangerous time. Am I scared? No, I'm not scared. It's why I do this show. Even though when you hear stories about Andrew Breitbart, is it possible that he was taken out because he was exposing too much damaging information against this president, this administration? Is it possible? I don't know. I think it is possible. Is it a certainty? I can't say that it's a certainty. But I'm leaning toward it. The teeter-totter's a little on the side of starting to believe that it is possible. Could it have happened? Did it definitely? I'm not a did it definitely, but I've that 50-50 has tipped in the favor of, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. What about Michael Hastings, the journalist, worked with Rolling Stone and a whole bunch of other publications, brought down General McChrystal. He was really concerned the last few days before he died in a 115-mile-an-hour car crash out here in my backyard. What was it, up at Highland and Melrose? Over in Hollywood or over in Los Angeles? He wanted to drive other people's cars because he thought that there might be a bomb placed on his, or that his car could be controlled another way. And by the way, there have been articles we've referenced in previous programs where digital cars with all your GPS satellites and all the information streaming to it can be hacked and controlled up to 150 miles an hour and drive you into a tree, or make it look like that and actually have bombs planted in it so it makes it look like you're driving erratically and then blow off the bomb and then you hit a tree or something. Who knows? I mean, is it possible? Yeah. So am I scared? No, I'm not scared. I am concerned, though. And while I have a voice, I'm going to use it to talk about this stuff. Because I legitimately feel as though we're at that teeter-totter moment. I mean, we're there. We're 50-50. I think we need to pick a side. And just the system isn't working. This system it's a vampire. It's the Walking Dead. It's a zombie. It's the Walking Dead. It already done died. We gotta come up with a better system. And I don't want there to be a horrible market crash, a fiscal calamity, followed by rioting, bank holidays, no electricity, no running water, to force people out and into FEMA camps, to starve them out. To cut the internet, cut the power, no communication, you don't know what's happening. And the police state is rolled in quietly, power's turned back on, and everything's different. And chances are, if you're one of the outspoken opponents toward this type of behavior, maybe you're not there when the power comes on. Maybe it was a lot easier getting rid of you that way. That's what I would do if I were a bad guy. Man, I would shut down the power and I would go after the good guys, the patriots, the good girls, the patriots, the ones that like freedom and liberty, and just kind of leave me the hell alone. You do your thing, I'll do mine. Just leave me be. And yeah, that Second Amendment, it's there to oppose tyranny. It ain't for hunting deer. You think the founding fathers who came out of the dark ages where they had to have private conversations, all these people that founded this country, the George Washingtons, the Benjamin Franklins, you think these people were putting a Second Amendment into the Constitution, the second most important thing, because they just wanted to make sure they could get venison for winter? Give me a break. It's to make sure that any of the bad guys, if I were a bad guy, I wouldn't want any armed people, an armed population, an alert and aware, an educated population. No. I would want dependent, desperate people. Unarmed. Easy to control. Yeah. If I were a bad guy, that's what I'd do. So, because of these reasons, linking all of your personal data to Obama, the doctor-patient relationship is one of the most private things you could imagine. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not going to post on Facebook all of my personal information. And to those of you that do, you might want to reconsider some of that. Number one, we don't care about all that stuff. Number two, you should kind of keep some things to yourself, you know? I mean, doctor-patient? This has already ruined it for me. It's going to be real interesting. Coming up shortly, I'm going to see my general practitioner, my doctor that I've seen for several years, and I'm not going to know how to talk with her. You know, I just don't want all my information in a database. I don't like the concept of it. I feel uncomfortable now. I don't want to talk to Big Brother about things. Not that there even are things. But just knowing that a file is being built on me. Get your eyes and hands away from me. Creep. And seriously, I say this all the time. You know, if you're home watching this, it's late night or something. Imagine someone's listening through your window. You know, right out in front of your house. Right in the bushes. Listening to the things you're saying. Listening to the private conversations between you and your wife, you and your husband, you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend. And they have access to your phone. And don't think of it as a phone, think of it as a tracking GPS device that's constantly communicating with satellites. So they know everywhere you're going at every time. Every text message you send. Nothing creepy about that, is there? Is there? Yeah, there is. There's something really creepy about that. Your daughter's upstairs practicing ballet or I don't know. Changing her clothing or having a private conversation with her boyfriend, and you got some creep across the way looking through the window. That has a little microphone, camera, just kind of seeing what she's doing. Come on, fathers. Seriously, mothers. Seriously, are you going to tolerate a creep doing that? That's what our own government has turned into. A peeper, a gawker, a stalker, a creep. A creep. That's it. Ain't just an Obama thing. It's a Bush thing. It goes back way more than that. It's a problem. And I don't see the people addressing it. And it really bugs me. It really bugs me because I don't want to do these shows. But I feel as though, what was the post I said? Activism is the rent we pay for living on planet Earth. Activism is the rent we pay for living on planet Earth. As I said before, I did not want to sign up for the military. I did not want to be a soldier. I did not want to fight on the front lines and defend my country. And that's just not, it just wasn't a choice I wanted to make, so I didn't make that choice. However, the pen is mightier than the sword. Funny comment we just got from Donnie Zaltzberg. Comments on a lot of Facebook stuff referencing the 60% of the people that would trade every member of Congress in one fell swoop, all of Washington. He's like, who are the other 40%? And where are the term limits? Seriously, where are the term limits? You got to put restraints on power. It's just power corrupts. So you got to protect the people from themselves. That's it. You just got to protect the people from themselves. And that's what the Constitution's there. It's a charter of negative liberties. It's all the things the government cannot do to you. Get it? Do you get it? That's what it is. And in 2013, it's it's like all those romantic comedies. Guy and girl getting ready to get married, but you know it's not the right choice. You know it's not in her heart. So speak now, or forever hold your peace. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to speak now or forever hold your peace. We have the internet. Use it. Do a little bit of something. What was it? You have the lawnmower man going to mow and pick up trash and stuff at the Washington, the Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, where they're letting the grass grow, and, oh, government, we can never scale anything back, so we'll shut it all down, because I'm a petulant fool. I'm a brat of a human being. I always get what I want. I'm Barack Obama. Oh, no, but listen, everyone, it's a Republican. Yeah, it's those evil Republicans. Sure. It's so petty. It's so petty. You know, but are you close to D.C.? Can you go volunteer to go clean up at the National Mall, the trash and stuff? Do a little bit of volunteering in your community, in your neighborhood. I mean, I do kind of consider these radio shows public service. My sports shows, hey, it's just a bunch of dudes sitting around talking about sports. Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeyes. The show's called The Unhappy Hour. Check it out. But yeah, I'm trying to bring you stories that kind of blow me away, and I want you to be aware of these things. This is my public service announcement. What are you doing? Are you volunteering anywhere? Are you helping some local parks? Are you volunteering at local homeless shelters? Are you donating places? Are you... I don't know. I mean, if we're going to be selfish and not do anything, then you understand why government thinks that they need to do everything. You know, and you got to look in the mirror for that. So do I. But we all need to be doing something while we still can. We have the internet, let's use it. If you can't go be part of something fantastic and huge like going to DC and making your voice heard, or driving your truck and shutting down DC or something, do something local, please, and connect with us. Because this conversation's been going on since the inception of our country. And if you want to consider how crazy and wacky the Andrew Breitbart death and the Michael Hastings death could be, why don't you look up the Alien Act and the Sedition Act? John Adams, go back way far. This is a conversation that is never going to end, and there's always going to be those on the other side of liberty trying to restrain us. And it ain't right. So connect with us. Check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Go on Facebook and search The New American Media with spaces in between. Like the page. Go to youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia and subscribe to our channel. And follow us on Twitter at American_media_. Coming up in the next couple weeks, we're going to have a Kennedy special, 50-year anniversary of the murder of our president, John F. Kennedy. Yeah, things have been bad here before, and I don't want to see them get this bad again. We're going to have quite a few special guests coming up soon. It's going to be a great year. Thank you for joining us. My name's Brian Engelman, signing out for those here at the TNAM Radio Network here at the New American Media, and agree to disagree. I appreciate you. I love you. Be prepared, love, and stay safe. Peace.
Welcome back, netizens, to this newest edition in Juice Media series of rap news journalism with me, Robert Foster. This evening we're actively delving in depth to facts which affect all of us who dwell on this internet, and we've got to give a special welcome to all the ladies and agents from the NSA, AC, or MI5. Glad you're listening in, because today's show is all about surveillance and how it's spreading from the streets into our modems. As we speak, laws are being tacitly written in to implement ways of controlling the expanse of this internet to keep us safe, we're told. But from whom? And will this place ever be the same if these plans go through? To find out, we connect with our first guest to comment on the matter. We're live at the Panopticon with General Baxter. General, son, good to have you back again with us. Explain why the state is spying on us.
My fellow Oceanians, as you know, we've always been at war with Eurasia.
Or is it East Asia?
Either way, it's war, and we need division to wage it. But now the proles are connecting online, bypassing these illusory divisions of race, religion, and nationality.
Sounds grand to me.
It's a catastrophe. Centuries of hard work are being undone, profits are vanishing, and it's due to the internet. It's empowering humanity. We need to get this snafu under control rapidly.
How?
Behold the latest weapon in the war of terror. Our greatest invention since 9/11. Guaranteed to keep us free and safe forever. I give you the surveillance state, ladies and generals. Our secret wires log your key style. Monitor every single number on your speed dial. Rewind straight to your position with facial recognition and pinpoint you within 0.03 of a mile. We've put eyes everywhere without consulting you, keeping you safe whether or not you want us to. Soon there'll be no freedoms left for threatening. Then we'll have won the war. Take that, terrorism.
Brilliant. Thank you, General. We now interview our resident guru, Terrence Moonseed, for a different view.
Greetings.
How does this situation look?
I have one word for you, Robert. Double plus on good. The world populace of 7.4 billion are all headed in the direction of Orwellian totalitarian oblivion. My voice is horse yelling about stellar winds, cold chilling them and trap wire weaving through the world wide web we all dwelling in. Face it, the all-seeing eyes in all of our Facebooks like a virus, and in these iPhones with Siri, or should I say Iris. Next in line is RFID devices and mind chips triggered by chemtrails the plague spray the sky with. This time it's too far. Check out the base they're building in Utah, where they'll be storing all your data for over a century. It's FUBAR, and under the outback is an entire tunnel of wires, an echelon base called Pine Gap to hijack our mother Gaia.
Hey, maybe your mother's gayer.
Boo-hoo. Why didn't you just kill yourself like most of your troops do?
That's it. Now you're on the cast iron list.
Hang on, General. Why weren't we informed about this?
Sorry we didn't tell you about our grand plan before. It was meant to be a surprise, under wraps in a store. But some spoil sports had to go and ruin it for all by blowing whistles in spite of the damn law.
Bill, Benny, and Thomas Drake are trailblazers for leaking these tactics.
Hey, civil liberty activists, this is all legal. Anything we do now actually is.
How did-
You can't question my authority thanks to this.
And that shit's global, people. In Australia, it's now legal for the government to store all SMSs, searches, and emails. Australians, it's taking place under your nose. Unless you wake up, all your data are belong to ACO.
Come on, everyone knows you can trust the government now. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about.
That might be the case with things that are happening now, because most people agree with most of the laws that are being handed down. But once the Illuminati reveal their agenda for you, this surveillance will enforce laws you no longer consent to. But by then it'll be too late to protest too. And anything you've ever said, typed or browsed can or will be used against you.
I'm confused. So what should we do then?
What should we do? Nothing. This is all an illusion. It's just a ride, a delusion, the Matrix, the Maya deceiving us.
You hippies really make our job so much easier.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're picking up a signal from beyond the space-time continuum. Quick, switch on the juice channeling portal. Wait, is that George Orwell?
Good day to you.
Wow, what do we owe this honor to?
I tried to warn you noobs, but I see you are actually fools, or else you thought this was an instruction manual.
Yes, so can you advise us? What would you have us do?
An open and universal internet is the most effective tool you have to address the issues that afflict the world at hand. Therefore, protecting it is the most essential task that stands before your generation.
I think I understand.
Hush, man. You must not lose the internet. Heed this mantra. Who controls the internet controls the data. And who controls the data controls the future.
We're losing you.
I leave you with a tool to use.
An onion?
Don't be simple, Robert. This is but a simile. It stands for Tor.
Tor?
Google it. It's for anonymity. This onion router open network helps considerably against tyranny, but its abilities only work if all you use it consistently. And even if you don't use it, run it so its force swells.
Thanks, Mr. Orwell.
From now on, call me George Torwell. If we'd had such tools when I wrote this, well, it would have been so much simpler to tell Big Brother to go f himself. The mother sucking piece of shit.
Thanks, George Torwell, for manifesting direct from this memory hole of history to impress on us these messages. We're told we need safety, which is precious, yes, but can a society that can enforce all its laws ever progress? Hindsight shows that many figures guilty of thought crime turned out to be luminaries and heroes before their time. But if a surveillance state had reigned then in this form and design, just think of all the progress we may have all been denied. Could lobbies for women's or gay rights have appeared and thrived? Would revolutionary ideals have materialized? Would science have pioneered or even survived if every word had been monitored by thought police and spies? Big Brother brings chilling effects, freezing our collective hopes. He doesn't protect our safety, but protects the status quo and threatens this internet, the one channel yet uncontrolled, whose openness we are now called upon to effect and uphold.
If you're tired of the other stuff, take a look at thenewamericanmedia.com.